Tanks are the undisputed kings of the modern battlefield. They're powerful enough to level buildings, and they do it with style. But how does a tank actually work? What makes these behemoths go? How do they keep going even when they've been hit multiple times? And what can you do if you find yourself stuck inside one? The turret rotates, allowing the crew to aim the gun at targets that are either above or below them. Some modern tanks have an additional remote-controlled weapon station in the turret, allowing the commander to see everything without sticking his head out of the hatch, or to shout without being overheard by the enemy. Some tanks have sound-deadening material lining the walls. Just like your car, tanks need regular maintenance to keep them in good working order. Panicking will only make things worse. Second, try to figure out what's wrong. Is the engine running? Are the weapons operational? Do you have enough fuel? Once you've assessed the situation, take steps to correct it. If the engine is running, try to stop it so you can make repairs. If the weapons are damaged, try to disable them so they can't be used against you. And if you're running low on fuel, ration what you have left so you don't run out before help arrives. A well-maintained tank will run smoothly and be less likely to break down in the middle of battle. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and watch another. See you next time. Maintenance is usually performed by a team of soldiers who are trained to work on tanks. They will check all the tank systems to make sure they are working properly, and they will make any necessary repairs. This includes checking the engine, the transmission, the suspension system, the electrical system, and the weapons. If the tank has an intercom system, crew members can talk to each other without shouting, conserving their energy. Some older tanks had an intercom system that used a complicated network of cables and plugs. Modern tanks have an intercom system that uses electronics to allow the crew to communicate with each other. And with the outside world, let's find out. Some people say the most important part of a tank is its armor, but we all know looks are what truly matter. That's why the most important part of a tank is the turret. It's not just the brains of the operation, it's also the coolest part. A tank is only as good as its crew. It could have the best armor in the world, but if you don't have anyone to operate the equipment, it won't do you much good. In order to operate a tank, you need at least 3 people: a driver, a gunner, and a commander. Some tanks require more crew members, such as the M42 Duster, which has a total of 5 crew members, including a loader for the main gun and a second gunner for the smaller cannons. Crew members enter the tank through a hatch in the top of the turret. Even if the tank doesn't have an active enemy, it still needs to protect its crew from the elements. For this reason, hatches are included in the tank's design. Some older tanks have removable armored glass vision blocks that can be stowed inside the tank when not in use. Modern tanks have armored glass vision blocks that are periscopes. The Commander S usually located at the front of the tank with armored glass vision blocks that provide him with a near 360-degree field of view. This allows him to see everything without sticking his head out of the turret, keeping him safe from incoming fire. The turret contains the tank's primary weapon, a large-caliber gun used to engage enemy tanks and buildings at long range. It also usually has some smaller cannons for taking out infantry and vehicles that get too close. Depending on the type of tank, these smaller cannons may be mounted coaxially with the main gun or remotely controlled. Some older tanks even had machine guns mounted in the turret. The turret's armor is usually thicker than the rest of the tank because it needs to protect the crew from incoming fire while they're redoing the important work of aiming and firing the main gun. The engine is the heart of the tank, but let's be honest, it's the crew that makes the tank go. Crew members communicate with each other by shouting or using an intercom system. Even though they look like giant metal boxes, tanks are complex machines with lots of moving parts. If you ever find yourself stuck inside a tank, there are a few things you should keep in mind. First, stay calm. Thanks for watching.